Hello and welcome to the ActiveGraf new loan limit review use case demo. I'm Laszlo Balassi, founder and CEO of ActiveGraf. And if you're viewing this video, you probably have some idea of the key features and value proposition of ActiveGraf. We synchronize data, calculations, and charts bidirectionally, and this allows anyone to run even the most complex analysis, creating scenarios in real time and making data-driven decisions immediately. To fully understand its unique power, though, there's really nothing like seeing ActiveGraf solve problems that you face day to day. And if you are a risk manager in a bank or work with risk managers as a banker or risk analyst, this video is for you. We are not selling these use cases, but rather using them to highlight the power and simplicity of ActiveGraf in a specific setting. These are downloadable for free off of our website. And generally, ActiveGrafs are very easy to produce and very flexible. They're easier to put together than standard charts in spreadsheets, for instance. Let's get into the new loan limit review use case. And as you can see, we are right within PowerPoint. And ActiveGraf is embedded into PowerPoint through task pane in the menu bar. And this is just a standard loan limit review that you'd see in any commercial or corporate bank or investment bank. This is a fictive company called Sample Co. with a dashboard of their credit performance forecast over 5 years. Also the key ratios and the key financials charted out. Behind it and linked to it are these spreadsheets, which basically this spreadsheet is very much the same, again, as any corporate or commercial bank would use. 5-year forecast, 1-year actual, and basically the rating methodology of the given bank. Credit rating methodology is embedded in the spreadsheet. And that is represented in charts in the PowerPoint. As with any ActiveGraf-enabled presentation, it's very simple to start a presentation, just like you would any PowerPoint. You click on Slideshow, and here's the title slide, and we can move right onto the dashboard. As you can see, this dashboard shows this fictive company Sample Co. in a limit review format that is very similar to any you would see in a commercial or corporate bank. Here we have the CapEx amount, the amount funded in debt, and the loan amount, therefore. Loan parameters in terms of spread, key covenants, EBIT drivers, working capital drivers. The debt to EBITDA is the key covenant. I just chose that one with various rating levels shown and the actual performance of the company. And then ultimately the output is, well, what rating do we assign this? And the ratings migration over a 5-year forecast period is from investment, just barely investment grade BBB minus to AA minus. And also we have a buffer here for the financial flexibility within the set covenant. So again, quite typical. The big difference here is that these charts are ActiveGrafs. And what would typically happen in a loan review is that the banking team and analysis team would go to the risk manager and walk through the forecast and walk through certain sensitivities. And usually there's a base case, an upside case, and a downside case. The problem is that often risk managers would like to see a specific scenario. For instance, in this case, we could say, well, the risk manager would like to see if the raw materials prices increased more in year one than forecast. In ActiveGraf, it's very simple to run these scenarios. You can graphically run any model. All we do is click on the element that governs the growth of the raw materials price and take it to the level that we want, which is 10%. And we can immediately see the impact on the credit. It's that simple. It goes from what was an investment grade company to just barely making investment grade towards the end of the forecast period. And you can say, well, you can have a discussion with the risk manager now live, build dialogue and trust by saying, okay, but we do believe that even in a downside case like this, we would be able to pass on some of the some of the costs within the forecast period. So let's just say that we can pass on 7% and see what that does. You can immediately see the impact of that. And of course, if there's pushback, you can just set back, they can only pass on 6%. That's our sensitivity case. And immediately see what that does to financial flexibility and rating. This is very, very powerful. The other thing is that ActiveGraf is very, very simple to use. And its user interface allows you to do undo all, for instance, to compare scenarios. So you could do undo all and see what the original was. This is our original. This is how it's changed. Redo all. This is our sensitivity case. As you can see, it's very, very powerful to get immediate answers to scenarios that can be very complex calculations. Also keep in mind that not only are the graphs on this dashboard updated, but all of the information tied to the spreadsheet through ActiveGraf are also updated. So all of the KPIs are updated, the ratings information here in much more detail with the credit ratios. The entire financials can be viewed now with its update based on that latest scenario. The income statement, cash flow impacts, and balance sheet. In other words, you can observe the exact impact of any key parameter change, any change in drivers immediately. And therefore, instead of going back and having to calculate again and come back to the risk manager, taking a lot of time and effort, you build up a dialogue and you make data-driven decisions much more quickly.